I'm Sam.
And I'm Andrew.
And we're MB Board Gaming. And today we are taking a look at Fox Experiment, which is published by Pandasaurus Games and designed by Elizabeth Hargrave and Jeff Frazier. So Andrew is gonna go through how to play, and then we'll be back for our final thoughts.
Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've kind of thrown some of the stuff out here, but this is generally what a 3-player game of the Fox Experiment is going to look like. You're going to have your main board here. You're going to have your parents with the males and females, as well as your player board with all of your player pieces here. And what you're doing in this game is you are domesticating foxes. And the way you're going to be doing that is you are trying to breed male and female foxes with desirable traits to create friendlier foxes so they're more likely to be domesticated. All right. And so in this game, what you're going to be doing is that this is going to get played over 5 rounds. At the end of the 5 rounds, whoever has the most points is going to win. All right. And so what this game, each round, you are going to have 4 phases really. So you're going to have a selection phase, a breeding phase, a research phase, and an administration phase. Okay, so during I'm just going to go through each of the phases and kind of give you a breakdown of how each of those work, give you kind of a high-level overview. So first is going to be your selection phase. So each player is going to get 3 turns. Well, you have 3 actions. Each turn you get to choose one of those actions. One is pick a male parent. Another is pick a female parent. And the third is going to be choosing us on the supply track. All right. And supply track is going to be important because you are going to be getting, this is going to determine your turn order. I actually have too many tiles out here for a 3-player game, so it's my fault. This is going to determine some resources that you're going to get as well as your turn order. And what you're going to be doing is you are going to be trying to complete these studies that you are going to start with. And this study that I have here says that for the first phase, I want to make sure I get 2 brown and 1 pink. So when I'm choosing my parents and what I want to go with, I want to try and get those 2 brown, 1 pink requirements met so that I could advance on my study. So looking at this, I might be like, okay, I don't see any brown-pink combinations over here. I see blue, I see brown. So maybe on my first turn, I just want to come up here and I'm going to get some bonus goodies, which are going to be these little bonus traits that are going to allow me to essentially help complete traits that I might need in order to fill those gaps for my studies. And it might go around and people might get more. And then my next turn, I get to choose a parent. So I might take, oh, I want this brown and blue parent for my male parent. Right? These do not refill. Those that are gone are just gone. They don't refill. You won't until the next round where you have new parents out. And we'll get to that. And then I'll go around again and it comes back and then I get to pick a female parent. So then I might take, oh, I have a brown and a blue. I need a pink, but I also need that second brown. Maybe I'll just take 2 pink and 2 blue, and maybe my little green dice that I start with will help me with getting that second brown. So we'll see how that goes. So once everybody has done that, and in the selection phase, you're going to go in turn order. But after that, you will be able to buy upgrades, but I'm not going to go into that here just yet. We'll talk about upgrades when we get to the research portion of the round. But after you've selected, the next 2 phases are really simultaneous, and that's going to be your breeding and your research. So everybody's going to be taking their turns at the exact same time. And during the breeding phase, what you're going to do is you're going to collect the dice for the fox parents that you've got. So in this case, I got 1 brown, 2 blue, and 2 pink or red, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I'm colorblind, but those kind of throw me off a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those real quick. So I got 2 blue, 2 reddish pink dice, and 1 brown dice. Now, you start the game with also one of these green friendly dice, right? And these are going to be wilds that you're going to be doing. And what you're going to do is you're going to roll these dice, and you are trying to make matches. So like I said, I'm trying to get 2 brown, and I'm trying to get 1 pink. So I got 1 blue because I have a half and a half. So I can put these together in order to create 1 full symbol. I have a half of a green that would finish that brown, and I have my 2 red. Now I can also take these tiles that I have, and these are one-time, I can spend them. And what I can do is I can put them together if I want, in order to, if I need to complete a dice or create a whole symbol in itself, and I can assign that to a color. So now I've got this, I've got my pup, so you'll always draw your pup. And what I'm going to do is now, after I've rolled my dice, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to record the friendliness and what my traits are. So I'm going to go down on my card here. I have no purples, so I'm not going to mark any off there. I do have 2 browns because I filled that, so I get 1, 2. I'll put an X in the box and a dot in the circles, and I'll talk why those are different. We have 1 blue, so I'll mark the blue like that, and then I have 2 of the red pink ones, right? So I'll do it like that. Then after I've done that, I'm going to check how friendly the pup is, and I'm going to count 1 for every thing that I checked off. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to mark its friendliness in the top right hand corner that this pup has a friendliness of 5. Okay, now that is pretty much it for the breeding phase. After I've done that, what I'm going to do simultaneously as well is I'm going to score my study. So each pup can score 1 study 1 time. So in this case, I have what I need to complete the first phase. I would take one of my little foxes and I would place it on there to show that I've completed phase 1. Now, if I had the second step of the study completed before I did the first step, I can't skip that first step. I have to complete the first step. Now, if I was making multiple pups, as you'll see that we'll be able to get, I could use 1 pup for each step, but I can't skip steps. So at least I'd be able to mark that and saying, hey, I completed that first step of that study. Then I'm going to collect tokens. And tokens are going to be these little traits, what are they called? They're called like friendly tokens, friendly traits, right? And what I'm going to be looking at on here are going to be the little circles, okay? So every box that's checked is going to be a dice that can be used in the future because your pup is going to become the parent for the future rounds. And every circle that you have filled in is going to be a trait that pup or that fox is going to get you when you collect those. So in this case, I'm going to get 1 brown token and 1 red token, which is the floppy ears and the spots. So what I would do is I would take 1 of each of those tokens, right? And you can only score each trait once. So let's say I had multiple pups. I could pick the purple trait from 1 pup, the brown trait from another pup, and so on and so forth. I can just only collect 1 of the traits from a pup, I can't collect both traits from multiple pups. I can only collect 1 trait from a pup. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, you're going to collect those tokens, and then you're going to be able to purchase upgrades. And on your board here, as you see, we start with being able to make 1 pup. We're going to have a study at the beginning of the game, and we're going to have 1 friendly dice. However, if I spend 2 of the same colored trait, so if I had 2 browns or 2 red tokens that I had just received, I could spend those in order to get something like an additional friendly wild dice, because you get to use those for every roll. Those green dice, those you'll always keep. You'll be able to get more studies to work on to earn more points. You're going to be able to get more pups. And as you go, you'll see the cost is going to rise as you go further up in those upgrades. And the bottom one here are going to be these patrons, okay? And these are going to allow you some endgame scoring. Some are going to go based off of the different tokens that you spend to put on your board. Some of them are going to go based on stars for if you have super friendly pups. And some will go based off of friendly scores of the final round, so on and so forth. There's a number of those cards that each have an A and a B side, so that you can play with those and mix them up. But that's what you're going to be doing for the upgrades, and those are the different things that you're going to be achieving. And as you can see, as you go up on the upgrades here on your player board, they're going to give you victory points. So once you've collected those and done those upgrades, again, this is all done simultaneous, so you don't have to wait for your turn. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go into the last phase, and that's going to be the administration phase, which is also simultaneous, where you are going to clear off all previous generations. So all the foxes that were not picked will go to a discard. You are going to take all the pups that were created. You're going to put them on the board because they are going to become the parents. You can also discard the parents that you had. And they're going to become the parents for the future round. You're going to check the friendly score of all of them, and whoever has the friendliest of foxes from the pups that were added is going to get, so let's say my 5 was the highest, they're going to go here, and they're going to earn some victory points at the end of the game. And anybody who did not get the highest score is going to get a little bonus here with the friendly trait token. After that, you're going to continue to fill the line of parents. It's always going to be the number of players plus 1. So if I'm playing a 3-player game, it'll be 4 males and 4 females. So you'll fill those gaps. If you already have, let's say, 4 male parents, you won't draw any. So after you fill the kennel, you're going to reset turn order. So you're going to look up here and see who's in first, second, third. They're going to exchange their player order token, and you are going to, you'll be able to clear off all this. You'll put out new ones and take your little cog back to reset turn order, and refill the supply. And then you're going to start the next round. So every round you're going to be doing this. You're going to be picking parents and the supply track of what you want and what turn order you want. Then you're going to be chucking those dice, trying to meet those studies. And you can have a lot of studies going on at the same time, and trying to achieve these different objectives that you're going for, collecting those tokens, upgrading your player boards, connecting with those patrons, and really ultimately scoring the most points. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most points is going to win. And so that's going to do it for this overview of the Fox experiment. So let's take it back up top and tell you our thoughts. One thing I did forget to mention real quick is that as you are getting your supplies and eventually getting your patrons, what you're going to be getting is going to be these science cards. These science cards are one-time use cards that are going to affect different phases of the game. So you can have any number of these, and you will be able to do certain things. So like this one, after you roll for a pup, you can mark one, add 1 to this pup. So you can do different things to the traits. You're able to trade trait tokens of your choice to get the friendly tokens and vice versa. Some are going to allow you to, you can swap the supply tiles from the space that you take with any other tile in the discard pile. But you're going to be able to use these one-time abilities all throughout the game. And if you don't use them, each of them are going to be worth 1 point at the end as well. So I just wanted to come back and give you that real quick information, since I know I didn't touch on those. And the other thing I think that I missed was if you have, because as you're developing these pups, it's possible that 2 pups from the same person is going to be coming out. So if I have an orange female and an orange male, they're considered inbreeding. So you want to make sure you don't do that, because if you do, you're going to get less rewards. You're actually going to lose a trait token because it's considered unhealthy and not good for the offspring. So I do want to throw those 2 little rules in there as well and kind of cover that. Nothing too much, but that's going to be it. So again, let's go see what we think about it.
All right, and we are back. So thank you for that teach.
Yep.
Let's jump right into the rubric.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. So, so this is supposed to be Elizabeth Hargrave's next big game. Wingspan is very popular, obviously. She has many other games now. But, so jumping right into this is the Kickstarter edition that we're looking at the production of. So, with the insert and with the acrylic foxes and the metal, the player tokens that are metal. So there's a lot of really nice, the acrylic like little traits that you're getting, those different ones, the floppy ears and everything. So super nice production of this copy, which I love the tactile feel, everything. It just feels great when you're playing the game. The art is really nice. Yes, not every fox has a different picture, but they do have like 5 or something, like 4 or 5, something like that, that like cycle through. And so it looks really nice. Graphic design is really nice. So I feel like icons are super easy to understand and follow. And then, just the component quality, good card quality. They're the dry erase. So those work really well. Not all the dry erase markers. All the dry erase markers work really well. I don't think we had any issues with the dry erase markers. So yeah, overall, I give it a really good job for components.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with that. I did love how the cards, you could write on them with the dry erase markers. I thought that was a cool thing to add. The components, yeah, looked nice. The game overall, I feel like the design is really awesome. But I like Elizabeth Hargrave, her games. So I thought that it was a really neat design.
What about production?
Oh,
what about production?
Well, that's part of production is the design. But yeah. So anyway, I think so. The each player color. I think the all like the foxes. There was like they each had their own. You know what I'm saying? Like for each color, they each had their own set of foxes.
So, yeah.
Like they all look different.
I think so.
Because I'd be like, oh, all of mine are like they have like a orange fur,
right?
And then one of them, So I was like, oh, I kind of wish that there was more variety. So I mean, but that's just something like really small.
Yeah.
But I feel like overall, the production was super nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
the art, love the art.
Yeah. And so taking us into like preparation. So how's the game when it comes to setup, tear down, being able to teach? I think setup and tear down isn't too bad. I mean, obviously you're putting out all the different tokens, so it takes up quite a bit of room because you have like the main board, then you have your own player board that you're building out, and so you have the deck of cards and whatnot, and your different what are they called? The studies that you're filling. So it's can take a little bit longer, I think, with setup and tear down because you are having to bring out all the dice and all the tokens and whatnot, but that's not too bad. Difficulty of the teach isn't terrible. A lot of it is simultaneous, which is really nice. So usually with that first teach, I'm like, okay, we're each just going to kind of go through our thing one at a time so you can get a feel and see if we are doing it correctly. So I would highly recommend do that. If you're teaching this to somebody, maybe the first round or two, you are just going to be kind of individually going through it until everybody gets a feel for it, which I think after a round or two, everybody should have a pretty good idea and be able to then just jump into the simultaneous play. So for the most part, the teach isn't difficult at all. At least I didn't think so. But yeah, I think preparation, the rule book is really nicely written. I didn't find any issues with the rule book. It seemed very easy to flow through it, and wasn't just like mind-boggling. I like when there's different pictures and whatnot, and a lot of white space for my eyes to relax. So I did enjoy that too. So yeah, so preparation-wise, I think they did a pretty good job. Setup could be a little long and tear down maybe just because you're putting everything back, but other than that, I think the teach is pretty easy.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it was like a couple rounds until I was able to do the stuff on my own, but it didn't take long. I felt like the teach was fairly straightforward. Right. And yeah,
literally, yeah, as we get into the gameplay, all you're doing is, okay, we each have two actions, we have our two things that we're going to do. Or our three things that you're going to do. And so, not two, I don't know why I said that. So you're taking a male, female, taking a supply action kind of thing, right? And so it's really quick as you're going around and picking the ones that you're wanting to go for. And then you're literally collecting all of your dice, chucking them, making your pups, and then you're going to see who scores, that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. That's it, because you're going to be getting you're going to be spending and upgrades and all that fun stuff. Right. So it's pretty simple and quick there. So with that, getting into gameplay, mechanic-wise, I think of this as like I don't know what it's classified as, but for me, I always think of it as like hey, this is a new twist on card building. Like I'm used to like the card building with like Dead Reckoning, right? Where you have the see-through cards and you're building them up. Same thing kind of here, except for the dry erase. So you're marking them off and they're going to become the new parents. So it's still kind of some card crafting there mechanics-wise. I like the dice chucking. I like the half and being able to try to make holes to create them. You have the little trait bonus tokens that you can get to finish up those traits that you're trying to collect. So I really like that. I really like just the there's no downtime hardly in between turns. I mean, the only thing really is when you're waiting for that first section, you're taking your actions and you're hoping people don't take the things that you want.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, you're just chucking and doing your stuff, right? And then, okay, I'm collecting all this stuff. I'm buying these upgrades. Okay. All right. We're going to put these out, score, whatever. And,
right.
You're doing your own thing. So there's not a whole lot of downtime because a lot of the round is simultaneous, right? Other than the first part and the last part, really.
Yeah.
When you're kind of evaluating everything. So with that, I'll let you go for a little while and tell me what you think. I don't know why I'm yawning.
That's okay. Yeah, I thought thinking about the gameplay, like, I thought the whole dice thing was cool too. Like, being able to, like, match up the halves and, like, I don't know, that was a cool, different thing. I did like the different traits, like how it was like, oh, if they have floppy ears, or I forgot the other ones. Spots.
The bark, and then the what's the fourth one? I can't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Bark,
either.
spots, floppy ears, and there's another one.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool. Like, they worked, like, the science into the gameplay of, like, oh, this is what makes, like, a domesticated fox or whatever. Right. So I thought that was a pretty cool, like, just a different type of, like, thinking in the game.
Right.
And kind of, you're trying to match up these different traits and, create essentially these, like, little baby foxes, or like you said,
creating friendly foxes.
Yeah, friendly foxes. So yeah, I mean, it's cool with, like, the breeding. I thought was neat, and being
even
able
the
to
incest part where you lose stuff. That was
I never did that because I was like,
no, but I like that they kind of threw that in there. You could do that.
You get penalized for that, which would make sense, right? So I thought it was very, I don't know, just felt kind of.
I shouldn't say incest.
Real.
Inbreeding. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Sorry,
well, inbreeding.
I felt weird saying it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But anyway, and then being able to, like, name them, that was a fun part, of the game.
Yeah, it makes it very thematic, right? And immersive in that way.
Yeah.
And so there is quite a bit of luck in it, though, right? Because you're chucking those dice.
Yeah.
But first off, you got to get the foxes that you need. So if there's not a fox that has the traits that you need, like, oh, I need to be able to roll the purple dice. Nobody out there is giving me the purple dice, right? That's a little rough.
You might just be out of luck.
So there is a little bit of luck there. Yeah. I will say I like the dummy player in a 2-player game. I actually do enjoy it because it adds dice to those that are still out there that they took. And so they can get more and more dice, which is kind of nice. I don't know. For some reason, I actually like the AI whatever player in this one in a 2-player game. It makes things a lot more interactive, I think. Yeah. So I liked it. I think it wouldn't have been as well without.
Well, and then you're not just fighting over between just you and me fighting over whatever's out there. Like that dummy player is going to come in and take.
Right. Well, they might take the supply or one of the. I mean, you could have a general idea of who they're going for based on what their studies are, but I still thought it was really good. Yeah. But there is a lot of luck in what they're going to take, what dice you get, what parents you get, right? So turn order is important. So, but I think there's plenty of strategy there, right? I think there's plenty of mitigation with that luck. How many of those green dice do you get? How many, based on what your upgrades are, you're going to get those extra, I can make multiple pups, So, maybe if I have a bad roll, my second pup will fulfill the study that I need, right? So there is some mitigation, I think, there in being able to do that. Even when you have the science cards, being able to play those to maybe fix to deal.
I did like the science cards. What I didn't like, I will say about gameplay, is the like kind of scientists / investors.
Oh yeah.
Is that what they were called?
I can't remember what they're called. But they're like the people that are funding your project.
Yeah, your research or whatever. I don't know. It felt like that was just kind of just like something just added on. Like I didn't really care for it too much. But yeah.
Yeah, I think when we played with Nick and Vic, Nick had mentioned that he wishes like you would get it and then a new one would come out and there'd be other ones.
And it wasn't
instead of like everybody has access to these 4. And you just have to, once you get that marked off, you can go over there and get one. those partnerships or whatever. And so, yeah, I like that part. I do wish there were more. There's not a lot in there, but I would like to see more of those. I did like the puzzly nature of the player board too. Like, especially with those, like, okay, I can score based on if I have the same ones that are vertical or horizontal or a row or whatever. And then as you're going up those tracks, you're going to score points. So I did like the little puzzly nature that they added to the game, because that gives me another thing to focus on other than just studies. However, gameplay wise, you have to knock out those studies.
Yeah, you do.
If you don't focus on those studies, if you don't get those done, you're just not going to score well, and you're not going to be competitive. So most of your points are going to come from those, and then those extra little partnership ones that are going to help you score. But the studies are the big thing, I think. And then obviously you get the points for your remaining stuff. But I will point that out as far as gameplay wise. You do have to focus on those studies. So with that being said, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I don't think so.
Okay, so let's jump right into our return on investment. Did this meet, exceed, or fall short of expectation? For me, I had high expectations. For me, this met those expectations.
Okay. I think mine was... I think it met my expectations. Like, thinking about it, I think I was pretty satisfied with the game.
I remember showing you this one, I think, when we backed it, and I thought you were pretty excited about it too, right?
Yeah, I was really excited about it, and I feel like it met my expectations. I didn't, yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything that I felt like was like a waste.
No, yeah, definitely.
Waste of time.
And so with that being said, jumping into scores, what would you give the Fox Experiment?
I would give it like a 7.8.
Okay.
I think, yeah. So
okay.
Pretty good for me.
I'm coming in a little bit higher. I'm going to be giving this an 8.6. So I really like the game. I think it's great. I just love. I don't know. To me, I like the puzzly nature of it. I like all of it. I really enjoy the game, and I like it a lot. Is it better than Wingspan? I don't think it's better than Wingspan, but I think this is a really good game. So I'm coming in at 8.6 right now. And I've enjoyed every play of it. So
yep,
yeah.
I thought it was a good one.
Yeah,
and it's a cute theme.
Yeah. So, and to be honest, I don't play a lot of Pandasaurus games. I was thinking about this. This is definitely my favorite Pandasaurus game, but I don't think I play a lot of Pandasaurus or haven't had very good plays.
I feel like lately we've been playing more of those.
So I'm really glad that I've been getting these. I did play another one at Gen Con that I really liked this year, and so I'm hoping. Pandasaurus is growing on me, so I'm hopeful of how that's going to work, because I don't play a lot of them. So that was a great surprise for me as well.
Yeah, I think we're building it up, building up our amount of their games.
Pandasaurus games, yeah. Probably. So we're gonna wrap it up here. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think of the Fox Experiment. Yeah. If this is one that you're looking to get your hands on or have already played, and let us know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Go domesticate some friends.